Right, so should we start? And this is BA Marketing and Management presentation. I'm Jenny. I'm currently Associate Professor in Marketing. I'm also the BA Program Director, so I look after you all when you're coming in September. And a little bit background information about myself, as some of you have you already heard. Welcome. I'm a Durham graduate myself as well. So 10 years ago, I graduated from Durham PhD, and I also did master course here in Durham also for marketing. So Durham definitely is a nice place because I lived here for like five years, and I came back after 10 years in somewhere warmer, and then I came back. So Durham definitely a nice place for studying, and so I can also answer a little bit question about being a student here, the college life, and so on. We also have student helper here. Hi. So she will be more knowledgeable in terms of college, student activity, and so on. So yes, we'll just do a double act when it comes to the student experience. Another thing is you probably will see quite clearly that I'm not a native speaker, and I only have one cup of coffee this morning, so sometimes my brain becomes very, very funny, or sometimes when I'm too passionate, I talk a lot and very fast. So if you miss any key information, again, if you want me to re-emphasize something, please just stop me. Is that okay? Cool. Right. So let's start. First of all, I have to say congratulations first to secure the open day opportunity, because I know that a lot of time our open day is overly subscribed, so not everyone can join apparently. And also I think if you are here, consider Durham as your next stop, then that means you are quite at the top there, because Durham, as you all know, has an international and historical reputation for academia. I don't know if you know that 100 years ago, Durham students can actually walk into the parliament and influence the MP as long as they have the identity of Durham. So that's how Durham students be valued historically. And then now we can't go into parliament, but Durham students still making a very positive impact in society, and not just in UK but globally as well. Here, as you can see, Durham is very, very beautiful, and now a top tourist spot in northeast of England as well, due to Harry Potter. So you can have walk around the castle and the cathedral. So we have a lot of international tourists during the summer. And Durham city center is not big. You can probably finish the whole city center within 20 minutes. But you have all the facilities that you need. And it's definitely improving along the years. I was just saying that when I was a student here 10 years ago, when I was about to leave, we just had the first Starbucks. And now we have Starbucks and multiple cafes as well. And again, there's if you check Instagram or influencer about Durham eating and cafe and so on, you probably heard about Flat White. Again, when I was a student, Flat White just opened, and now they have 3 different venues: White Church, and then Flat White Cafe, and then apparently one of the best brunches, Flat White Kitchens. In the region, always have a massive queue outside. So a lot of things changed. Before we didn't have cinema. Now you have not only Odeon but also Everyman. So all of this makes you can guarantee Durham is definitely not a boring place. And when students are back in September, Durham the atmosphere will be totally different. Okay, you guarantee that you will always see crowd everywhere in Durham. Everywhere in Durham there will be something going on, either cultural events, sports events, everything like that. So Durham will really transform into quite a different place once the students are back. So it's definitely a good place to study. And Durham University's reputation, I don't think I need to do more introduction. The thing that I would like to focus on two. First of all, you might have heard that business school currently purchased a new building within the city center. So that's near the riverside. So at the riverside in the city center, if you go visit there, do you know where Radisson Hotel is? Or if we go Gala Theater, and then, yeah, it's okay. You go have a look. Very, very city center position, just right at the city center little square. There is a big shiny new building, and that's just purchased by business school. So we will have new building soon. And at the moment and in the future, we are planning gradually for the move, but it won't impact students' populations here because we always use the different faculties building due to the student number and also student experience. Students like that. So you will have lecture probably at chemistry departments and building, psychology building, the TLC building. If you just walk down, there's a teaching and learning center, new shining building as well. Student loves that. So that probably will have impact on your college choice. You don't need to pick your college that close because at the proximity of business school, because you will have lecture elsewhere, and and Durham is fairly a convenient place that you can walk anywhere. So we will be, student will be quite active in the city center as well. So you don't need to pick your college of that. So that's just a tip. And also, there's another thing I want to focus on is more about what Durham education means. It means that we want our students to make positive impact. And I always say, and that's, you can see the index of this. This is maybe 4 or 5 years ago, due to a research, say the Durham University graduate for each for £1 that we use as a university operation. We make £4.56 for the whole UK economy. That means all of us, scholars, students here, we're making an impact. And that's really the one thing that I would like to encourage all of you, because marketing, 20 years ago, if you walk into any top university, say, I want to learn marketing, and people will be like, what? And there's no marketing degree at all. Why? Because people used to believe that as long as you're smart enough, you can do marketing. As long as you're people-oriented enough, you can do marketing. But that's not all. Marketing people here is about you having a different mindset. So what we like to see our student is when you walk out of here, you have the mindset to have any career opportunity that you want, or not just career, any life opportunity that you want. And just to give you a very interesting example, we have a year 3 project, so dissertation alternative. This year, one of the most popular projects by audience is how to use behavioral science to improve the rate of finding missing person. Isn't that cool? Can you think the marketing student can do that? Yes, we can. So our impact is not just helping company to earn money or the cost and all that. No, it's about making a society a better place, making yourself and then people around you in a better place. So that's we like to see our students. You have the mindset and the skill set to do anything that you want and make positive impact. The reason is. Now, of course, I understand career choice is important, but if you see our student profile, you can see it's very diverse thing that they can do. They can work for Channel 5 to run a social media account. They can become an IBM management consultant. They can do Johnson & Johnson marketing and communication, and they can work in EY or PwC. So all of this is all the different jobs. A lot of people, they landed the job from their placement year, which we'll talk about it. If you have any question, I'm sure you do. And a lot of them just they like to try something else. Okay, So these are, the example I just mentioned is come from the recent year 3 or graduate this year or last year. Okay. And for the postgraduate study, we also see our students have very successful destination for their postgraduate study. Of course, that's the benefit of having a good Durham degree. So our student this year, for example, got admission from LSE in the UK, Northwestern in the States, psychology degree, PG degree, Hong Kong University. So again, it's very globally and very diverse. So not everybody doing just marketing. And this is something I also like to encourage you to think about. So don't just narrow yourself as I'm a marketer. No, you can be a management consultant. You can work in PR agency. You can work in media. So that's the confidence that you should have after your degree. And I was chatting to some of you. I really feel that your degree shouldn't dedicate your future. Why? Because my degree, BA degree, was German and language. And I don't speak a word of German. Or maybe a few words, and I couldn't talk. But this shows you that what you study is actually more about yourself. It's really not a career choice. So I always say we should keep open-minded. Just see whether or not you can learn something here. That's the most important thing. So for marketing and management, you will have 3 program codes to choose. And the good news is they are very flexible. So let's say today, year 1, you register for 3 years BA Marketing and Management program. And then when you get to year 2, you realize that I really want to do a placement, and I also found a placement position. And you can always talk to the office, then we register you to the 4 years program, BA Marketing and Management with placement. The same thing. From now, I want to do a placement, but in year 2, because personal circumstances, I don't want to do it anymore. Can I switch back to 3 years program? Yes, you can. So the difference between these 3 is the first one is traditional 3 years program. Okay, for placement and study abroad is at the end of year 2. You have the option to go away for a year and then come back. So this is traditional 4-year program. Okay. Any question? Nope. Then I'm going to imagine if somebody asks question. Where can I go for study abroad? A lot of students, we have a lot of international partner. For example, for marketing students, we have seen these 2 years, Barcelona is very popular because it's warm. So warmer, nicer European city, not too far from home. That's very popular. Placement, how can I find a placement position? In business school, we have a placement team. So if today, I believe they have the desk at Learning and Teaching Center. Yeah. Study abroad, there's definitely a desk at the lounge where most of you just been. Placement year, we will support, so we will have, for example, a team to help you look at your CV and look at your placement contract once you get a position. So we'll validate your placement position. And I do encourage everybody, no matter what you register degree, you definitely consider applying for a placement position. To just, yes, please.
What kind of roles commonly do people from marketing management go into in placement? Or is it active assistant marketing, or is it okay to do something very kind of?
You can be general management. That would be individual CV and interest, I would reckon. But it's very popular for students of Durham to go into placement with big organization. And when you go, for example, Unilever or IBM, such as this, let's say the placement student we have from IBM, she got into is more management. So, for example, her team, other placement student that in the same cohort will be somebody from other university management degree or something like that, but she's from marketing degree and she can do that. And now she obviously did it very well, so she got a job offer right after her placement. and also different organizations have different criteria and the tasks for placement people. So some big organization will ask you to rotate. So for example, 3 months you work for the recruitment, and another 3 months you work for something else. And some type of placement will be more specific. So for example, you work for only the marketing team within this. Placement position doesn't really need to be with those big organizations. So if you landed even international placement, you can do it. So if you find a job opportunity, I don't know, in Munich or I think we even have students in America. As long as the contract has been validated by our university, you can do that as placement. So as long as it's 1 year full-time job, yeah, you can see that as a placement opportunity.
You pay university fees when you study?
Yeah, the fee will be reduced because you still have the support as the mentor here with the university. You still have all the student benefit as the university students. So, for example, your access to all the resources and data, etc. And then we also have the mentor to look at the process. And placement years, I believe, is being assessed as pass and fail. So you will have certain reflections, report that you need to do when you come back. To make sure that you did this placement well, and that count as your year 3. Year 3 is great, so it will reflect on your transcript. Yeah. Any other question about placement? So yes, I do encourage people to try, because this is the process that all of us, if you want to apply for a job, the job application is definitely a process that everyone needs to go to, and this is a good time to practice. So no matter you get it or not, that's not the most important thing, but it's a learning process. And most importantly, a learning process with somebody to support you and guide you with the placement team and career and center service, which the big office just behind, just next to the lounge. I think that's a good opportunity. So if you get a position, of course, then you can decide whether or not I'm going to take it. I do have some students got a position and decide that I'm not going to take it because I prefer to finish my degree early. That's also possible. Yes. So any other question? No? Still awake? Yeah. Okay. So this is the 3 you can register with the marketing. And as I say, the reason why I show this is to show you that what do we teach here in Durham marketing program. We're not teaching students a specific tool because there's no point to do this. So we don't teach you how to do a Photoshop, hold a camera, or how to use TikTok. No, this is not the thing that we're teaching. But we're teaching is no matter what type of platform you use, you have the mindset to make it efficient. You have the mindset to make it work. So before I have 2019, if you compare 2019 to 2021, you will see Instagram is a big difference. You will see in 2019, there's nothing called Tinder. And now, if you look at 2021 to 2023, so this is during COVID and post-COVID, you'll see something called Microsoft Teams. Everybody doing Teams nowadays. Before, there's nothing. So when you graduate from Durham marketing degree, there will be a platform, a software that is there that now we don't know about. Okay, so for example, for your cohort, I guess the chat GPT will make an impact on how you can practice marketing. So for a marketer, the thing is we're not going to teach you how to run the software or how to use it, but you have enough knowledge and mindset and confidence to do any platform that you need to do. So for example, as a researcher's mind, when I look at this, there is something in common. Human behavior remains the same. So for all marketing, no matter which platform that you run, there's something called social networking, engagement with others. So you see every year we have this different graph, but messaging, social networking is always there. So the social element is there, personalized element is there. okay? And a platform that can do multiple things will be there. The index to look at is China. Actually, China is digital marketing wise very, very is more adapted than Western country. So, for example, imagine in the future you can buy something from your WhatsApp. If you're engaging with somebody, some Instagram influencer, you directly order from them. So how can we embed it, all of this? And China is already doing it. Okay. Yeah, so this is a quote that I really like. I always show my student the first day. So when you join me in September, you'll see this again. I remind you, it's not about the tools. And also, I will have a student ask, so is this Durham program very theoretical? I would say, do you have to learn theory? Yes. Do you need to read a lot of academic? Oh, please come in, have a seat. Do you need to read a lot of academic paper? Yes. And why is that? Because, as I say, we have a lot of successful marketers that can do marketing because they're basically genius. They are very smart. How about another type of successful marketer that is because they know what works? Theory, or what we say scientific data, is to make sure that this will work most of the time. So now you can see most of the marketing has adopted this, and that's why we have data-centric marketing. So how to analyze the data, that's a key thing. How to see, how can you apply the theory to do that, that's one thing. Right, that's the key thing that we need to learn here. So do you need to learn theory? Yes, but that doesn't mean what you're doing is not practical. So as you can see, I give you a sample of behavioral science project student do in year 3. That's definitely very innovative and applied project. Oh, I actually haven't finished that project introduction. That's really cool. So what she's doing is, okay, I have a theory based on evolutionary psychology. So as long as the content is more tapped to evolutionary needs, so for example, the family kinship needs, people are more likely to remember it in their subconscious. So that's the theory. So what she's doing with the missing person post is I invented a game experiment. So I show people some posts on Instagram, okay? And then what they don't know is, and I ask them, if you, after seeing this post, at any time when you see this person, just use the QR code of the post and report it to me that you found this person. And then she will ask the person to wander around Durham City Center for a period of time. So it's like a treasure hunt, isn't it? So but people don't know when and don't know where. So naturally, in a natural setting, and people report that, oh, I have seen this person. And so which type of post will help you remember the person's face? That's interesting, isn't it? And that's what we're doing, so-called marketing and behavioral science. So it doesn't have to be selling things. Yeah. You can also sell things. There are many behavioral science projects or dissertation topics that I can share with you later. So you can see what our students can do after 3 years of studying with us. And generally, our students are very happy because they have a very nice program director. No, I'm joking. This data is actually before I arrived. So we have a very good teaching team. So our student satisfaction is top in the country in comparison to other marketing programs. So definitely top tier. Yes, so just to show you that studying here in general is a good experience. And now everybody needs to be awake because the important information. What do we study? So I'm going to tell you about your program structure and also what your timetable will look like, and then basically your student life and schedule in Durham, and our future direction as a marketing program. Okay. If I happen to miss any of that, please just interrupt me, and then I'll re-emphasize it again. Now, this is the year one program. The thing that highlight in yellow will be the new one, brand new one that you guys are going to study for the first time, okay, in the next September, coming year September, or in the, it will be also new one when you're coming here next September. So this one, for example, Introduction to Advertising in year one, term one. I don't like the name. I have to change the name. So the name I have more in mind is more about creativity in advertising. So for example, traditional form of advertising, TV advert. But no, advertising now changed, the whole industry changed. So for example, there is a small Parisian boutique shop. How can I compare with department store like Lafayette? If I'm a Parisian small boutique shop, well, I need to make people know that I exist, so increase awareness. How do I increase awareness? Traditionally, I give out the flyer and voucher and all that, but no, how can I do it more effectively? So how about I hijack all the mobile scooter in the area. So all the staff today, you go out and then hire a city like Borisburg, and then park that right in front of my store. So when people need a bike, they'll have to come. That's advertising nowadays, and that's creative thinking. So everybody now know the store because everybody have to go there to get a scooter, right? So that is try to create a creative type of thinking, creative solution for your business. So that's the aim of this module. Another interesting thing about this module is it will be the first time that we use live brief. So there is an association called DAAD. Every year they have something called New Blood competition for all the young talents around the whole world. So it's a global competition. And what they have is all the real client and big company will throw them their problem that they want young people to solve. So for example, last year we have Netflix say, how can we increase British audience for foreign drama on Netflix? Because people here don't like to read subtitle, so they don't watch foreign film, right? So how can we increase that? And Barclays say, how can I have more diverse, more accessible online banking for the people that might have dyslexia or something like this. So they give you a very, very applied marketing problem or business problem, and you need to solve it. So this will be the assessment of that module. And that require you either do 2 minutes video presentation with the image and post, including your solution, or 3 to 5 pages media poster. So like a big poster for. So that's how other agency will do when they do a client pitch. And that's what this is. So you're doing a pitch to tell Netflix that I can solve this and this is how I'm doing. So this will be the assessment for that module. Okay. And student can choose whether or not they want to submit to final competition or not. So that's term one. We have marketing principle, of course, so you learn about all the basic strategy framework and so on. You have the foundation of almost like management and HR for this term one. Okay, and from term two, I have a lot of questions about this financial information for manager because some people say, I don't like finance. And this is a finance information for manager, which means the key thing to teach you is about the key index of a financial performance of a company, so that you can carry on your project or identify the problem and so on. So this is quite applied and practical module. And I'm sure that some of the parents here, you guys will have much more business experience than me, so I'm sure that you know that this module will be quite essential. So this is year one compulsory. Introduction to digital marketing. The assessment this year, for example, identify a digital marketing campaign that's done by a college here in Durham, and criticize them using the theoretical knowledge, and then propose new knowledge, propose new campaign idea. Marketing strategy in practice is a simulation game, so students love it. So every week, you are formed as a student agency, And every week when you come into the classroom, you'll have a new scenario in marketing that you need to solve as a group. So this is technology enhanced learning with a simulation game. So students often have, really, really like it. Yep. Okay, now timetable. Traditionally in Durham, every module, 20 credits, means 2 hours weekly lectures plus 2 hours seminar workshop fortnightly. So that equal per week, the lightest week you will have is 6-hour lecture if you don't have any seminar and workshop during the week. And then the heaviest you will have is probably 12 hours per week. Does that make sense? Okay? And it was spread out till 2 or 3 days. These 6 or 12 hours. Okay? So that's per week schedule look like. Wednesday afternoon, no lecture. So if the parents, next time if you want to visit Durham and then you say, I'm going to come on Wednesday afternoon, and then your son or daughter say, no, we're busy, I have lecture. Then you say, Jenny said no lecture Wednesday afternoon. So yeah, no lecture Wednesday afternoon. Why? Because this is for student society. So your excuse, students, your excuse will have to be, I'm in my sports team, or I'm joining some sort of society, so that tends to happen Wednesday afternoon. Okay? And I do encourage you to have society and sports team. This really will enrich your university experience. Okay? So this is what traditional timetable look like. Is there a vision to change, or is there something changing? Yes. So we will have something called, now is in every higher education, there's a very trendy thing called flipped classroom. You use more technology or online learning space to help students learn. So for example, my module in year 2, I don't do traditional lecture with my students. I ask them to learn by themselves. So I will record lecture video and then put it online. And I say to all my students, before you come into my classroom, you have to finish the video and you have to understand the theory before you come. So when they come here, we do a little experiment together, and then we do some sort of discussion, debating, or idea, more hands-on thing, little project, mini project within the 2 hours. So that's the idea about flipped classroom. So for example, there's one time I asked them to run a cultural focus group just within the class. So you'll have like people sitting on the floor and they tell you, I think tea in Britain. Yeah, so that's quite interesting. And tea in Britain is really associated with grandpa and grandma. So a cup of tea, and people think, oh, my grandpa and grandma used to really like tea. And while tea in Asian country is more about ritual, ceremony, or cultural identity. So see, that's a quite interesting thing that we can do as marketers. So yes, that is flipped classroom. I think basically universities are increasing more and more this type of learning. So in the future we might see more hands-on learning environments such as this in our program. First of all, year 1, any question? Yes, please.
What does it mean, like the bus that's on the house? There's bus and 11 city bus.
Which one?
Next to marketing
Next to
principle,
marketing principle, introduction to the
the numbers, and then it's just the code.
Just a code for the module. So that's the name of the module, the code.
name of the module.
The code, yeah.
I was first thinking it is like in different study building, and you need to take the different bus and.
Oh, no. It's a code of module. But you will have the different building, but you don't need to take a bus because it's pretty much accessible. Yeah.
Does it mean just like the major course is just like stay in this business school?
No. So here we use tutorial room a lot. That's because the number of the lecture room that we have available here. But here I have quite a few tutorial here with my students. So here also is a lot of offices here. So students tend to come here to meet their supervisor. So for example, I have my office hour. When students want to come to see me, then they have to walk all the way to business school and come to see me. Otherwise, the lecture will be spread out in the city center or a different area. So science site, learning and teaching center, where else? I think these two locations are the most popular for business school, right? Yeah, the science sites, which is good for you because a lot of students, let's say our timetable, we only actually come into the campus 2 or 3 days per week. So sometimes students say, I want to actually schedule with my group to meet for the meeting or something, or I want to go to a library, and then it's all around there. So it will be close to library. I think the one that I really like the room is psychology department. They have very, very like new technology type of lecture room, which is very cool. But the thing is, you have to climb a hill called cardiac hill, which is you walk up there and then you have to be fit. Yeah, so, but yes, you will be fit because they're walking in Durham with a nice fresh air. I don't know if you have noticed, especially if you come from London, the air quality is completely different, isn't it? Yeah, here I can breathe. Yeah, especially I used to live in southeast London, so that's even worse in part of London. So yeah, but here I can breathe, and yeah. Okay, so this will be year 2. From year 2, your grade will start to count for the future degree classification. So year 1, by all means, you can do is experiment your studying style, making friends. You will join a lot of social activity. Guarantee you all sort of excuse for party. Like traffic light party, you have to wear red or green or yellow. Or Bollywood party, American Super Bowl party, Chinese New Year party. Yes, all sorts of any cultural occasion can be a party. So year 1, you'll be very busy. And year 2, your grades study to count. So the year 1, I really recommend you to try to find the best studying method, place, and time that fit yourself. And year 2, the compulsory one, you definitely need to pass in year 2 in order to get your degree. So this is what we call hash module. Okay, and then each term, you are able to choose either one of these or a language. So let's say I'm really interested in studying in Germany, so I want to learn German. Can I do that? Yes. So from year 2, you can do the compulsory marketing module and choose one German. Or you choose 3 management or marketing, or one of it. Yeah. What I will say is what you choose in year 2 will also be relevant to what you can choose in year 3. So for example, in year 3, we won't recommend students to try a new language because year 3, all the module counts. Okay, 80% of your final degree classification. So you can, but it will be rather risky. So if you want to choose a language, year 2 is a good opportunity. Okay. There are also new change this year in year 2. So for example, the optional course, digital marketing tools and techniques, these are new in terms of the marketing industry, the focus and the trends. So this one will tell you something. For example, the database or the monitoring tools that are usually used for digital marketing, Google Trends, etc. Yeah. And the key thing is monitoring effectiveness as well. For compulsory one, the new thing is marketing research methods. I know it sounds very not that exciting, but if you think about this, in marketing, do you know one of the most high-paid job? It is market researcher, insight analyst, data analyst, and it all come from the idea of doing market research. So this, you will learn some of this based quantitative analysis, things like this. Okay, so the reason, before we have the research method together with the management students, but management students often say marketing students are too quant. So, and also they, marketing research, as I say, is a big career pathway. So that's why we take this out from management program and have our own, so more marketing focus. Okay, behavioral science for marketers, learning about some basic behavioral science theory and then try to do them. So for example, choice theory, my students have fun of, I try to teach them when you have more option, when a consumer have more option, you're actually more difficult to choose, and then your satisfaction also decrease. Because every time you choose something, you regret about it, because you thought, I could have another one. So this is come from a famous, for example, famous jam study. So should I offer the free sample to taste 5 jam or 20 jam? So 20 jam have more people coming in, but less people to buy. 5 jam, higher rate of buying. So give you more benefit afterwards as a business. So what I do is, we were eating crisp in the lecture. So first, I show them 3 types of crisps, salty one. Pick one that you like. So after free sample tasting, I like this one. Very easy to make decision. But when you increase the option, the decision time become longer. The longer the decision time is, the lower the satisfaction. So the same thing as you choose university. So don't give yourself 10 options. Give yourself 3 to 5 maximum. Otherwise, if you have 10 options, you probably have lower satisfaction once you come in. Yeah. The same as our optional course. So see, not too many options, but definitely important for your degree. Okay, integrated marketing communication. You have some sort of group project and quite a practical thing as well. You look at the campaigns that done elsewhere and make new recommendation. Okay, now year 3. Year 3, the top 2 modules you see will be 40 credits, which means the whole year course. So you cannot switch in between. So either you do a 12,000 words dissertation, or you do a behavioral science project, which has a proposal first, a presentation, and the final report. So it's 3 stages. Dissertation, you will find it in every business school. Behavioral science, I would like to see as more about the identity of our program. So we do see the student intake increasing. So now I have almost like 45% of students will choose behavioral science project. Okay, and behavioral science project, interesting thing you will have. So how can I change the packaging for people to choose their energy bar? How can I stop people to use too much sun tanning machine? So that's health marketing. How can I find missing person? How can I stop my mom's compulsive buying on live streaming in China? And really, these are real projects this year. And how can I promote a local cafe using Instagram? So I'll show you some. Later you will see some pictures about this. So, and dissertation, of course, you can do the main different. Dissertation, traditionally, you can do questionnaire, focus group, interview, etc. Behavioral science project is experiment-based, so you do experiment. Either experimental survey or actual lab experiment. So I have this year, I have students have lab experiment about drinking Chinese tea using a different teapot. So whether or not the touch of the teapot will change the taste of your tea. And it will. Or people, so it's really fun. About that year, you always have some free fruit experiment. So I have students look at different shape of the plate and you perceive calorie intake of the same item. So if I eat a cupcake, if it's a round plate, I would probably think this is fattier than the one that in a triangle plate, even they're the same. So this kind of thing is behavioral science project. Okay, and dissertation, of course, we have people look at digital marketing. You have expert interview or something like that. So it's more traditional form. Now, year 3, other than your project or dissertation, here is your selection, but you must have at least 2 selected from the marketing. This year we have new one, consumer power and influencer marketing strategy. Influencer marketing is talk about how to find the right influencer match with your product and brand, and how to have the actual good content if you want to be an influencer. Okay. Consumer power is also related to digital society. So now because social media, everybody do the boycott. So how can I solve when there's a conflict, and how can I actually monitor and use the consumer power? And so that's the consumer power. Okay, so at least 2. So I have question is, can I choose all marketing and do none of the management? Yes, you can. So the only thing, as long as you have the right balance of the credit, then you can. Yeah. Okay. And now, after the program structure, this is just a recap. So this is a 20 credit module look like traditionally, which I have mentioned before. So on these slides, I would like to talk more about assessment. Is there any exam in marketing? No. So if you hate exam, choose marketing. But if you choose management as your option course, then there might be 1 or 2 modules that have exam. Okay. Traditional exam time will be in May. And another question, does that make marketing student totally free in May? No, because we will come out with some like program-oriented, marketing-oriented activity, which later you will see. Now, assessment form is also something that we are seeing more and more change. So now, at the moment, a lot of it is written word, written report or essay. And then we see more about, for example, media presentation, individual media presentation that you record yourself and then put it online or something, media poster, and so on, portfolio. So yes, we are looking at more a diverse profile of assessment. And as a program director, I think this is the good direction, because this actually gives students is better equality as well, because everybody have different skill set, And also, I'm sure that when you are here in Durham, you're pretty good at writing, so I don't need to train your writing. But is there any way that we can assess you while give you a learning opportunity? That's the thing that currently we're looking at as program team. Formative assessment means you get feedback, but no grade. Okay, this could be a couple hundred words writing, and then the lecturer give you feedback, or this can be a tutorial presentation. You get verbal feedback. So this is not toward your grade. But if you miss it, it will be counted as missing academic. What's the word? Yeah, academic commitment. Yeah, academic commitment, just the same as you missing tutorial. So if you're missing a few, then you earn a private meeting with me. I'm sure it will be very pleasant. Why are you missing it? Yeah, so that kind of thing. Now, this is a support that we would like to know that if there is any challenges that you face. Yeah, so that's a missing academic commitment. So if you're missing tutorial, so tutorial is compulsory. Yeah. Workshop is compulsory, formative assessment compulsory. So which means it will being recorded by the attendance system. In the last presentation, I forgot to talk about this. This is called Ultra. This is our online learning site. So once you sign in, you will all have everybody signs with a click course. Then you'll have all the course here. When you click in, you'll have all the resources, reading list, announcement, discussion forum, video, something like this. So it's an online learning platform. Okay. lecture recording, and so on. All the lecture is automatically captured by the system. That's called this little thing. Red means I'm being recorded. Oh. So I have to be quite careful about what I say. But yes, it will be automatically recorded and it will be put on your ultra site, so if you want a revision, you always can have it. Okay, and you have subtitles as well. So again, that ensure the equality for access. And this is what we're doing for Term 3. So Term 3 marketing student, a lot of us don't have exams, so what do we do after we submit all our assessment? And this year, from this year, we will have to have more structured Term 3 activity. Management students are very jealous these times. Sorry, Stephanie. No, that's a management director. Yes, yes, because this time we have a small field trip to St. James Park, and we have a meeting with the head of marketing, and so that's the marketing field trip. So you can see the one in the middle, the very tall lady. That's the St. James Park head of marketing, and it's very interesting because, as you all know, that Newcastle United this year has been back into Champions League. So a lot of things are changing. So it's a good time to visit. The picture here is we have creative advertising workshop, 6 hours for students. We have influencer workshop, 6 hours for students. So Term 3, there will be some extra curriculum activity for students to do. Guest speaker, running workshop. In the future, we'll probably look at student competitions and other opportunity for field trip. So this is what we would like to do. Okay, and then behavioral science. This is a behavioral science conference. So people who choose behavioral science projects, one assessment will be you have to do your presentation in a conference setting. So this year is in Hotel Indigo. So we invited industrial guests coming to be our panels as well. This year's guests, including one of last year's graduate, this is Claire. And Claire is the one that after doing her behavioral science project, she actually got a job because of this. So what she's doing now, she's the one who run all the Isle of Man TT race, social media marketing. Why? Because her project was this. So she was just interested, and she said, I want to do how do I increase the engagement on Instagram for this race? So what she's testing is, for example, the caption writing, whether or not first person or second person will make a difference, whether or not black and white or colorful picture will make a difference. The visual, is it the visual of the driver or the visual from the top will make a difference. The sound, so which combination will have the best engagement? So that's a behavioral science project. And we have more than one student, because of their behavioral science project, they actually got a job. Because the good thing is, after this behavioral science, you actually have almost like your product to show in your job interview. Say, look, I actually accomplished this. This is what I made. This is what I found out. Okay, so it's now quite a popular module. Yeah. So we have students like Claire doing Instagram. We have students, they're very interesting one. How about online shopping website for cosmetic? How can I subtly make consumer to spend more money? And she found that is the banner ad. So if a shopping website selling cosmetic, and then I actually have a dating app on the side, make people spend more money. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the mating circus based on evolutionary psychology. Yeah, and also packaging is a big topic. And that's why Andrew is one of the brand, is a partner from brand agency in London, and he is commonly come to our presentation conference, and he always note down a lot of idea and then going back to do that in the agency. So for example, when he worked very closely to us and our professor, when it comes to design packaging and all that. So his agency is the one that redesigned the Weetabix packaging. So make a difference. So that's why you can see his LinkedIn post there. Yeah, so that is some of our student activity within the program. Okay, any other question? Yes, please.
So there seems to be a lot of behavioural science involved, and I'm just wondering, like, how large is the psychology aspect of this course?
Quite large. So I wouldn't give a percentage, but I think as a marketer, basically psychology is a very, very big subject. The definition of psychology is actually the science of human behavior. So anything is psychology. And marketing as a social science always have integrated knowledge with other social science such as psychology and management. Behavioral science is something traditionally we call behavioral economics because it comes from economics. It's just that I think the innovative thought at that is you combine the psychological theory with the traditional demand and supply economics to show that people are not rational. Yeah, so there's a lot of integrated field here in marketing. And yes, I would say behavioral science in year 2 is a must-pass module. But in year 3, you can choose whether or not you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's also fine. But year 2 is a must-pass because that's basically a lot of other universities, they teach consumer behavior. We teach behavioral science. Why? Because now all the consumer behavior, agency or something, you do behavioral science anyway. So for example, Booking.com, a few years ago, they redesigned all their website, all based on behavioral science. So now you will see Booking.com, and every time you view a hotel, how many people has booked it today? That's a behavioral science. Or a lot of shopping websites now starting to use the countdown clock. So you have only a couple hours in second. That's behavioral science. So behavioral science is definitely a leading thing in marketing and advertising. Yeah. So that's why we sort of place that as a traditional psychology course. So in comparison to Durham marketing and other, you will see a lot of marketing program. In their program, they will have consumer psychology or consumer behavior. But when you look at Durham, there's no something called consumer psychology. It's because behavioral science. So we actually learn about that in behavioral science. Yeah, and the good thing is behavioral science in a lot of leading business school, they open for MBA students, and they open for exact learning. So for all the CEO or CMO or something. But in Durham student, we offer it as undergrad. So I think that's a really good start. Yeah, I think Imperial and LSE, they have MSc in behavioral science. Yeah. Any other question? Okay, almost finished, I promise. This is just student support. One thing that makes Durham student different is we have 2 layers of support. So academic support, you have our academic team, learning and teaching team. Learning and teaching team just outside our business school, there's a glass, after you walk past the reception, there's a glass panel. That's where the learning and teaching team is. And in September, they're very popular because everybody will be, I have questions on my timetable, can I change my module, and so on. So they're all a team there to help. And we have something called academic advisor, which is academic will be paired with you since you come in. And this is the person who's going to write your recommendation later and in the future. If you have questions about general academic things, or how can I write essay, and how do I use referencing, you can ask your academic advisor. So this is more like your academic mentor, really. I